Hey guys, welcome to MockRox. Today's video, we're gonna be talking about all of the stations, so make sure you watch it all the way through till the end, because when you get here on Saturday, we're not gonna be really going over things in detail, so make sure you watch the video so you understand the rules and standards. Let's talk about the run route first. I have a quick image of the run route. For those of you that normally come in here on Saturdays, it's our normal run route that we do, the 2-block run route. So essentially you're gonna exit level WOD, you're gonna go around 2 blocks and then back in, all right? Or if you're going to like the sleds, you can just go straight to the sleds. If you finish on the sleds, then just keep going on to the next run, okay? So you do not have to come back inside level WOD after you finish your sled station, which will be right along here. Just keep going on your next run once you're done with the sleds, all right? Skier. Press that menu button to turn it on. Click just ski. All right. And then make sure, we'll have these set to you, but just make sure that it's set to meters. Press this units button to do that. You can also adjust the damper right here. We recommend for most people that you have it somewhere around like a 6 or a 7 for most people. Remember, the higher the number, the harder it's gonna be to pull. The lower the number, the easier it'll be to ski. And then essentially, you're gonna grab these handles, step towards the back. It's gonna look like this right here. Jenna showing this real quick. Your team needs to ski until you hit 1,000 meters, okay? Once your team's hit 1,000 meters, you can be done skiing. You guys can switch on and off the skier, whatever you want. Okay, next up, we got the sled push. Now the sled push, we're using these tank sleds. All divisions are gonna be having this sled set at the 3rd setting, okay? So this is gonna be the hardest setting, all right? All divisions will have it set there, all right? You must push the sled up here. You may not push lower, okay? You must push up here because it's gonna make it a little bit harder, all right? When you push, make sure the sled starts fully behind the line. You're gonna push, dragging through your toes, going as fast as you can, all the way down, 100 feet down, and then 100 feet back twice, okay? So what I would recommend, since this is a doubles, I'd recommend one partner pushes down all the way across the line, then the other partner lift up on the front, rotate it like this, okay? Set it down gently, and then have the other partner push it back until it fully crosses the line, all right? And then do it one more time each, okay? So that means that both partners should have to go down twice. The sled will make its way down and back 2 times. Let's talk about the sled pull. This might be one of the harder, trickier stations on our MockRox workout. Let's go over the weights first. So essentially for men's pro, you're gonna have 5 blue plates, all right? For women's pro, for mixed doubles, and for men's open, you are going to have 3 blues and 1 green 25-pound plate. And then for the women's open, you're going to have 2 blues, 1 green. Now we're going to have boards out here to remind you what those weights are. So if you are mid-race and you forget, no worries, we'll have boards to remind you. We'll also more than likely probably have a coach out here assisting to help you guys figure that out. Now, if you truly can't get the sled going, you know, this is just a MockRox. We also have different friction, right? Because we're on asphalt versus like the real deal with the carpet stuff. So, sirens. So when you're doing this, if you truly can't move the sled, feel free to take a little bit of weight off, but it should feel heavy. It should feel like a grind. You should feel like you have to use your whole body. So the sled starts behind the cone. Let's go over here and show you guys how to do the technique and where the boundaries are. So you'll notice we have 2 cones out here. We'll also probably mark this with chalk day of. You got about 6 feet right here between these cones to work with when you're using your legs and arms for the sled pull. So essentially, you're gonna wanna lean back and you're gonna wanna drive hard with your legs. Drive that sled back and then pull yourself forward. All the way until that sled fully crosses the line, and then you can use the post to help turn it around, and then your partner would probably want to take it back. You guys can switch whenever you want, but just like the tank sleds, you're gonna have, that sled is gonna work its way down and back twice I would recommend one partner pulls it down, turn it around, other partner pulls it back 2 times each, 2 downs each, okay? That's the sled rope pull. Let's talk about the burpee broad jump now. So for the burpee broad jump, we are gonna be doing some loop-de-loops today, all right? And so the way that's gonna look is like this right here. Okay? You can jump as far or short as you want. So the jump is up to you. What is not up to you is you must have your chest touch the ground at the bottom of the burpee, all right? And when you land, right, you may not like do stutter steps forward or anything. Wherever you land, that's where you gotta place your hands. Your hands need to go down within a foot of where your feet are, okay? So your hands need to go down pretty close to where your feet landed, all right? Now, we're not gonna have any like blue measuring lines out like you might see in high rocks where they have like the grid. We're not gonna have any of those out. Those aren't really for scoring. Those are more just to help judges see if people are being like egregious with their hands jumping way out in front of their feet, okay? So we're not gonna have those out. Those aren't really for scoring. However, it is important to know that when you start this, right, your hands must start behind the starting line, okay? So your hands must start behind the starting line, right? Jump, and then continue all the way down. When you get to the end, and your feet cross this line, that is 1 down. You need to have 3 downs, 3 down and backs for the team. 3 down backs for the team, 3 downs each is what I would recommend. So I would recommend one partner do it down. Then when you come down, you're gonna loop-de-loop back, and I would recommend the other partner do it back, all right? And then continue that loop-de-loop process so that way we're not running into each other. Once again, 3 down and backs for the team, 3 downs each is what I'd recommend, but you can switch whenever you want. If you do that though, make sure you pick up exactly where your partner left off if it's like midway through the lane, okay? That's it for the burpee broad jump. About rowing, pretty much the same thing as a skier. The rowers will be placed outside, so just know that in advance. But essentially, strap your feet in, cinch them down, grab the handles, make sure the damper's set where you want it. Usually right around a 6 or 7 is about right. And then begin rowing from there, okay? Drive hard with the legs, lean back, follow through with the arms, okay? You can switch with your partner whenever you'd want, right? When you're done, just kind of push down and out, lean back and kick those feet out. You need to row until your team is at 1,000 meters. Once you're at 1,000 meters, you guys can move on to the next station. Once again, switch whenever you'd like. Let's talk about the farmer's carry. So the farmer's carry, ideally, is gonna be with kettlebells. If though, when you get to that station, there's not the kettlebell weights that you need, we also are gonna have some backup dumbbells, just in case, pretty much the same thing. All right, so for the farmer carry, kettlebells, you're gonna grab the kettlebells, stand up, and then you may run, okay? You may run with the kettlebells, all right? You're gonna go, you'll start outside, so we'll have them placed outside for you already. You'll go around the building on the street, just like the run route, except you're gonna stop at the big tree right in front of the building. We'll have a cone there. We'll have a big cone with a sign for the farmer carriers to turn around, okay? So essentially it's gonna be 100 meters down, 100 meters back, 200 meters for the team. You can switch off with your partner on the farmer carry whenever you'd like. Please don't like throw the kettlebells or the dumbbells all over the place. Try and set them down as gently as you can. We'll also have chalk buckets out there as well for you to get some chalk on your hands. Now, as far as the weights go, we got 70s for men's pro. We got 53s for women's pro, mixed doubles, and men's open. And then women's open is, Jenna?
35.
I think 35s. All right, so we'll double check that day up, but I think 35s on that. All right, so once again, 200 meters, switch with your partner whenever you want. We'll have a sign out right outside the big tree, right in front of our door. For the lunges, we're gonna have 3 different bags out. We're gonna have a 30-kilo bag, a 20-kilo bag, and a 10-kilo bag. The 30-kilo bag is gonna be for the men's pro. The 20-kilo bag will be for the mixed doubles, women's pro, men's open. And then we're gonna have the women's open. That's gonna be with the 10 kilo, all right? So very similar to the setup for the burpee broad jump. We're gonna have essentially a loop-de-loop on this side of the gym. So the side of the gym furthest from the rig, closest to the GHDs, all right? And so you're gonna get that sandbag up on your shoulders, all right? feet start fully across the line, and then you're going to step, knee touching the ground, step, knee touching the ground. No stutter steps allowed, okay? Make sure your knee touches the ground every time. You're gonna continue all the way down until your foot fully crosses the line. Stand tall, and then you can walk here, feet start behind the line, and begin, all right? Now, you can switch partners whenever you want. I would recommend, though, trying to have at least a full length before you switch partners. It is gonna be 4 lengths each, 4 down and backs. 4 down and backs total for the team. 4 down and backs total for the team. I would recommend, though, split it up evenly, 4 lengths each. One partner goes down, other partner goes back 4 times. 4 times. Okay, 100 wall balls for the team. You and your team can split this up however you see fit. So maybe I do 10, then my partner does 10, or maybe I do 5, they do 5. As long as it accumulates 100, you're good, all right? So for the wall ball, you're gonna have 3 different weights available. We'll have the 20 pounder, which is gonna be for the men's pro. We're gonna have the 14 pounder, which is gonna be for the women's pro, the men's open, and the mixed doubles. And then we'll have a 10 pounder for the women's open. For the wall ball standard, this is what it's gonna look like. Okay, so I'm gonna have that ball to my chin, elbows under the ball. I need to do a full depth squat. So we need to see the hip crease noticeably lower than the top of the knee, and then the ball must hit the wall. For the guys, above that top line. For the ladies, above that bottom line. The ball needs to make contact with the wall. Now, if either of those 2 things don't happen, meaning if the hip crease did not go low enough, right? Or if the ball did not hit the wall above the line, it is a no rep. More than likely, your team will get at least 1 no rep while you're doing this, because almost no one's gonna do 100 wall balls perfectly, right? So make sure teammates hold each other accountable, let your partner know if they're not going low enough, let them know if they need to hit higher, because when you actually get to high rocks, you're gonna wanna make sure that you're holding the standard now when we're practicing. If we're gonna have a staff member helping out with the wall balls, if we notice that you're consistently struggling to hit depth, and we've asked you a couple times to squat lower, as long as it's not injury related, we're gonna get out a med ball or a target for you to sit your butt to ensure that you know that you're going low enough consistently, all right? Now, if you are injured, you have something that's preventing you from hitting depth, that's okay, just let one of our staff members know. We'll help you out, potentially just reducing depth, or maybe getting out of box for you to sit to that's above parallel, okay? And then once you finish your 100th wall ball, you are done. Congratulations, you finished the MockRox workout. And I would probably take a note of your time.